Hi folks, hope you're doing well. It's just gone 11 p.m. on the 25th of the 8th, 2020. I had a walk and talk earlier, so there's only a tiny bit talking about Maguire, the Man United defender. So I'll add that to this one later. But anyway, I just watching something that reminded me of the issue of young people being, what's it called, confirmed, and what's the other thing it's called? 1 second, bear with me, please. So yeah, I was talking about when people get confirmed after being baptized in the Catholic Church, which I've said before is a ridiculous practice that bears no relevance to anything whatsoever, biblically, not at all. Anyway, one of the key functions in that is people denouncing the devil. They've got to actually say they denounce the devil, denounce Satan. Well, look at that for a second. How can you denounce Satan when you don't really believe in Satan? You're denouncing a mythical creature, basically. That's what most people are denouncing. They have no understanding of Satan or what he does, how he works. So how can you denounce him? If you denounce him, you've got to denounce his ways. But unless you understand his ways, you can't denounce his ways or denounce him. It's the same as you saying you love the Lord. You can't really say you love the Lord unless you first of all understand him and his ways. Because you love the Lord, you love his ways. You denounce the ways. As I say, people don't have understanding because, it's not something that's talked about. Certainly in Catholicism. Sin is not something that is, generally speaking, spoken about. Not in great detail, or how the devil tempts people. Because of the fact that if it was, the Catholic Church wouldn't get away with so many horrific deeds as it has done. The people would be holding it accountable, which they're not. Which they have no interest in doing, because sin is not really discussed. If you discuss sin, you've got to discuss the consequences of sin, which leads to the issue of repentance, which leads to the Lord being the way, the truth, and the life. So therefore, the Catholic Church being a religion and controlled by man, nothing to do with God. So of course they won't talk about it. Obvious, isn't it, really? So yeah, you've got all these people being confirmed into a religious organization, and it's completely insane. Anyway, that was something that I'm not gonna say much more about because there really is no need to say anything more about it. So from a Christian point of view, let's look at illegal immigration. Well, we know first of all that most of the cases that we've been hearing about recently, they're not what's it called? Asylum seekers. Because if they were asylum seekers, they would have settled in the first safe country that they come across, which they did not do. They travelled through Europe, so through countries like Spain, Italy, France, Portugal, and many others. They've gone through many, many countries to get to the UK. So asylum seekers, no. Nope, that isn't the case. And also, most are from countries where there's no war, there's no persecution of people. They travelled great distances and spent a lot of money trying to get to a country where they would have the better chance of a job, a welfare state, a national health service, even be given a free home. That's what they were told before they left. That in the UK, that's what they'd be given. And so that's why they risked so much to get to the UK. That's why they didn't stay in France, because the traffickers showed them videos of what life would be like in the UK, because the traffickers run businesses in the UK, and these people that they traffic are supposed to be their prostitutes or their slaves when they get here. And so they paint a fantastic picture of what life will be like in the UK, say in England or Wales or Scotland or Northern Ireland. So therefore, these people are risking a lot to get here, and so would you if you were in that situation. And that's the first thing to understand. So would you if you were in their situation. You would be willing to risk everything to go to a country where you would have a much, much better quality of life. Of course you would. I mean, whenever people move location, they take a risk. A much less of a risk than these people that come from Middle Eastern or African nations to travel all the way through Europe and then across the English Channel. So that was a yawn. Well, it is late. It's nearly, well, it's 11:10, so yeah. So yeah. What was I saying? Sorry, that's about the yawn. Yes. Yeah, when you move location, you're settled in a place, you've got friends in the area, but you move. You move to a more suitable home. Well, that's certainly the idea. To a better place that would give you a better style of life. But there's risk involved. You could have neighbours from hell that you move into. You could be moving into a property that's going to fall apart around your ears. That could happen. Whether that property is old or new, whether that property has passed its checks, it means nothing. There could be a whole litany of problems just around the corner. Yep, same with the car. The car I've got outside, exactly the same. Well, not the car I've got outside, the car that's in this car park near my friend's place. The 2008 Extra. 6 months I had it, dead. It died. There was nothing permanently wrong with it. The only thing wrong with it was the DPF, diesel particulate filter. Kept on coming up as having an issue. Just kept on coming up having an issue. And trying to get rid of that could be what's caused the problem. Pain in the ass, really. Quite annoying. But you get that risk with something old. And even with something new nowadays, especially newer houses, talking about houses again, or homes, yeah. A lot of these newer ones aren't built with the same degree of quality as the older houses were built. And yeah, they're built quickly. They're built to make profit, to make money, and then that's it. The builders then move on to the next build. So they're not built to last now, and they can fall apart very quickly. It's a risk you have to take. But these people that are traveling great distances and across the English Channel, they're taking one heck of a risk. That's the reality of the situation. They're taking one mighty risk. And they're doing it for a better life. But the fact of the matter is that you have to look at it also from the point of view of the country and the people in the country where these illegal immigration is happening. If we say we have 40,000 recognised illegal immigrants, so we may have 40,000 that have got through unnoticed. So that's 80,000. 80,000 people that have broken the law to get into a country. Now, you can say probably half of that number will commit crimes once in the country. That's quite possible because they've committed a crime to get in the country. So you have to assume that maybe half will continue to commit crimes, whether severe ones or mild ones. So, do you want to bring that into your country? Well, first, yeah, no, obviously not. There's enough crime in any country. You don't want to import crime. I don't think any country has a desire to import crime. So yeah. So that's one point to look at. Housing is another issue. And at the moment, initially, it's probably a good thing. You know, with COVID, a lot of the hotel industry has been dead. You know, in danger of complete and utter collapse. But with these illegal immigrants, they've got to be placed somewhere, and hotels seems to be one of the places where they're being placed. And that's not necessarily a bad thing because it may be keeping the hotel industry going. Because, of course, the government has to pay for these people to be lodged in hotels. So, therefore, the hotels are making money. They're not sitting empty. You're having to pay bills and staff having to be let go. So, that could be a good thing. Well, you know, look at it from that point of view, yeah, that seems fairly good. But then look at it from afterwards. What happens after? When they move on from the hotels? Well, generally speaking, they then either move into council property, council flats, or privately rented accommodation. Now, either way, whether it's privately rented or council, there's enough people on waiting lists who are desperate to move into places, especially council property. Anyone who goes on the council list may have to wait, 2-3 years to be offered a place because you're so far behind so many other people in the standings on that list, especially if you are a single male or even a young couple. You may have to wait a long time before you'll be offered a place, a council property. So having these illegal immigrants just going straight into council properties is going to be very annoying for people on the waiting list that have been waiting for a long, long time. And rightly so. Of course, it should be annoying. If you've been waiting for ages, having these able-bodied people that just left their country and put demands on your country to house them because they're homeless, because they just turned up with no money and nowhere to live. Obviously they're not. If they were asylum seekers, if they were leaving their home and their way of life because they were scared for their lives, then that's a different matter. These people are not that. So therefore, yeah, you should be annoyed if you've been on a council waiting list and somebody comes in who's an illegal immigrant and gets a place to rent straight away. That's a problem. That shouldn't be happening, no, in any way, shape, or form. So, I would be annoyed by that. Very much so. But how do you solve the problem? Some politicians, about 40, have decided to challenge the way things are. Because at the moment, I think the rule is in Europe, illegal immigrants can go from one country to another. That includes France to the UK, but these politicians are trying to stop that now and say no. France has got to stop these people from coming to the UK or assisting these people to come because France is actually assisting people to come. They're not actually trying to stop them in any way, shape, or form. Of course, I suppose they want to get rid of them. So, yeah. So that's one thing that some politicians are doing. What else can you do? I mean, you've got to make it unattractive. You've got to make it high risk. That if people want to illegally come to the UK, then there has to be consequences for those people that come. Yeah, whether it's that they get arrested, immediately put into jails, and then from jail, they're just evicted from the country. I mean, really, that's what should happen. If you're an illegal immigrant, there shouldn't be a case at all for you to be considered for entry into the country. You've got in illegally. You've not come in legally. If you come in legally, then of course there should be a case as to whether or not you should be given citizenship into the country, because you come in legally. You've done it the right way. Anyone who comes in illegally should be imprisoned, shouldn't be put up in a hotel. They should be put in a prison and treated as criminals, because that's what they are. And it's not trying to be nasty, it's because that's what they are. They've broken the law. So treat them as people that have broken the law. Yeah, and then send them back to the countries where they've travelled from. Yeah, I mean that basically is sending a message to the people that want to come across, saying, yeah, you may be asked to pay, £10,000 or whatever the equivalent is in the country where you've come from, to be able to travel from your country to the UK. But that money is going to be lost, because you're going to be sent back to your country straight away. And to the traffickers, nobody's going to believe you. The people you bring over, not only are they going to be sent straight back, but there's going to be a concerted effort to get you and to stop you from doing your job, doing what you want to do. You're going to be arrested. You're going to be put in prison. Yeah, that is probably the best way to do it. There's got to be consequences, and there's no other way really of doing that, so that they would be consequences. That pretty much is it. You've got to be tough. You've got to treat it as it is. It's all very well being compassionate, but if you're going to be compassionate on this, where people are doing things illegally, breaking the law because they want a better life, of course they want a better life. Does that mean, for example, I see that even around where I live, there are some people in some incredibly big plush houses. I want to improve my life. So is that okay if I just go and steal from them? Yeah, if I break the law, is that okay? To get what I want? Because these people that are illegal immigrants are doing exactly that. They are breaking the law to get what they want. And if you're on the left are saying that that's okay, well then that's fine. As long as you don't mind everything you have being stolen from you by people who want to improve their lives and don't mind breaking the law to do so. You have to forgive them for doing that. Don't bother calling the police. Just forgive them for doing it, and be understanding and say, well, these people just wanted to improve their lives. Place the same level of understanding on foreign criminals as you do, on domestic criminals as you do on foreign criminals. Do that. Empty the prisons of the criminals. These are people that just wanted to improve their life in some way. Yeah, what about someone who's paid to kill people? Well, of course, the person who's paid to kill people just wants to earn money. I imagine it's decent money if you're an assassin. They're killing people because they want to improve their life. They want to earn the big money to improve their life. So therefore, what they're doing isn't criminal, is it really? Not according to the left, because illegal immigration is breaking the law, and yet it's not criminal. Because you want to have compassion. You want everyone else to have compassion on these people, even though they are breaking the law. They're not going about things in the legal manner. They're doing the opposite of that. Anyway, so yeah, as I say, that's not an easy subject. I mean, if people want to get tough, then treat them as they are, as criminals, and do the appropriate thing. Don't let people apply to the courts and 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 apply to the courts. They're not even British citizens. If they're not British citizens, how can they be applying to the British courts? They can't. They're not a citizen of the country. Same as they can't really have, and again, if they have any treatment on the NHS, charge the countries from where they've come from. Send that country a bill. Pretty quickly, once they keep on having bills coming in for NHS or welfare, I mean, again, if you house the people, send the country that they've come from a bill for the housing them. Do that. Then the country that they've come from are going to be actively trying to stop people from doing this. Because it's costing them a fortune. Yeah? There are ways to deal with it. You don't have to do anything to extreme where it can be harmful to people. Yeah, where people aren't in fear of their lives and leaving and trying to get into a country because they fear for their own safety, you can send them back to where they come from. Absolutely. Do that. Yeah, it's going to cost you money, but again, charge the country where they come from. Yeah, for the airfare, flying these people back. Charge them for accommodation, for airfare, for any medical expenses, for any money you give the people while they're here. Certainly, if you put them in prison, pay them charge them for the cost of putting them in prison. Yeah, build more prisons if you have to cope with the immigration issue, the illegal immigration issue. Do that, yeah. Of course, yeah. Do that. It needs to be done. Do it. And make it not so attractive. Yeah. Anyone come in illegally, arrested, in prison. No mucking around. Question them. Where have you travelled from? Right, you come from there. Okay, we're sending you straight back there. Yeah, you're going to prison until we have a plane full. Once we have enough to put on a plane and to fill the plane, you're going back. Yeah. Yep, no special treatment for these people at all. They get 3 meals a day, but they get treated as a criminal would be. They're in prison. They won't be getting out. They only get out to be sent back to the country where they come from. Now, once you've been doing that for a couple of years, no one's going to want to come here illegally because of the consequences of that. And so do that. That'll do for now. I could say more on any other subjects, really. Yeah. There you go. You take care. God bless, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye-bye. Right, we're going for our walkies and talkies. It's not midnight, it's 9 p.m. Oh dear. Well, I'm not sure what the weather's going to be like later. I'll take that back later on our own anyway. But yeah, anyway, slightly lighter at this time of day, so it's better in many ways for the walkies because you can see a lot more clearer. So, yes. Well, yeah. Man United defender in big trouble. And Maguire. Well, bribery being one of the issues. Resisting arrest and assaulting a police officer. Trying to bribe the police. Yeah, not good. Well, he's been found guilty of that, so what's going to happen, I do not know. Well, I mean, I think the way Woodward would be delighted. It takes a lot of the attention off of his lack of transfers. Who's missing? We've got 1, 2. I'm going number tonight. Chewie! Chewie! Come on, Chew! Come here. Good boy. Yes. Well, lack of transfers is something Woodward was getting a bit of stick about. Well, of course, not anymore. Now, everything Man United is about Harry Maguire. What are you going to do about Harry? So, I think he's quite relieved. Yeah, because the attention isn't on him now. It's more on Ollie and what he's going to do about Harry Maguire. Whether he's going to take his captaincy away, which I think obviously you have to. He didn't even earn it. He'd only been at the club for 6 months when he was given the captaincy. Based on what exactly? Nothing. I suppose based on the fact that there was no one else actually at the club who could be captain. So just give it to somebody, I think. I think that was the decision-making process. Yeah, toss a coin. Who's it going to be for? I think every player had a little stick. One with the longest stick got the captaincy. That is most likely how it happened, because there was no one, including Maguire, who is able to lead that team quite clearly. I mean, Bruno maybe. Well, because the way Bruno had a go at Lindelof after his mistake in, I think it was Europa. Yeah, I mean, he acted like a captain. He acted like Keane would have done. Yeah, tearing apart the player who made that mistake, saying, "What the heck do you think you were doing? That was your responsibility there." Riley, come. And so, yeah, that was good. So, and also, when he plays well, he is a bit of a leader, so, I mean, he'll probably get it. He'll probably get the position, I guess. So, yeah. Oh, a friend said that this friend of his, a friend who's loaned me the car that I'm buying, that someone he knows is going to look at my 2008 car. So, okay. That's what I said, okay. Doesn't mean anything. I mean, really, I think the person could have the car for 6 months and be examine it. And it could take that long to find out what the problem is. And I'm pretty sure the person after 6 months of work would want about £5,000 in compensation for that work, which is like far more than what the car was worth. So it's like, oh, okay. Yeah. So all you can say is, okay. Can't really say much more than that, based upon the fact that don't know any more than that. All I know is, okay. Yeah, because there's no actual date as in when this person's going to have a look at the car anyway. So with that being the case, it could be a long time down the line. It could be pretty soon down the line. No idea. That seems to be someone on the push bike coming towards us. Those lights. Yeah. There is a lady in a mobility scooter, but I think she's over there. I don't think that is her. It could be. It's a mobility scooter, so it could be her. No idea. Then Mollie Collie. Oh, where, Bubs? No, it's a cyclist. Okay. Cool. Alright. Well, you don't know. Could have been a mobility scooter, because the lower light was about the light the scooter would be, and there could be a light on the roof of the scooter. So, yeah. Anyhow, yeah, with regards to the car, yeah, when I got some bits for the 2006 one, for the brakes, because the bolts well and completely sheared off, so it broke. We were trying to take it out, so that one needed to be replaced, and the other side has not yet been touched, so that might need the same thing. So yeah, £38 for that today, so okay. Back box was 20 quid. Then we need the middle part of the exhaust as well. That's going to be another 35 quid possibly. Don't know, probably about 35 quid I think for that. So it's adding up. It always is people think that when you got a car for an MOT and you sell it for double what you paid, that you made double. No, you've got to pay for the parts, pay a bit for labour, pay for the MOT, and then, you know, what happens. You get the money, you don't get the money, you know. That's what it is, isn't it? Anyway, right. I'll end this now because the people were walking with right here. So, you take care, God bless, bye bye.